I have this theory the producer community doesn't exist. Some of you only show up and you get on your little granny ass webcams. I don't know if you guys seen this shit, but like producer beef. I ain't never had no beef with no YouTube producers on here. DIY. DIYers, when many of you met me as Curtis King, the music producer, many of you probably came at a time where at first I was doing content for rappers and music producers because I was a rapper and a music producer. I was giving a lot of information. At some point, I was given some great advice, but one of the homies that I should pivot specifically into producers because there was a huge void for the type of information that I had for music producers, specifically in the topic of mental health. Nobody else was talking about mental health. There was a gajillion tutorials out here about every doll that you can think of. There weren't many that were talking about mental health. And that is something that I took very seriously because I was on a mission to figure out how to not just be a better producer, but a better man, a stronger man. With this said, some HTK, shout out to my guy right here. He is talking about the topic. The YouTube producer community is super toxic. But I want to have this as my last producer video because I don't plan on talking about none of these niggas. And 2024, you can make whatever content you want. You can clip it up. I ain't making no content about no producers. Shit is nerdy.
Then another thing that's super toxic about this whole entire space is like, let's say we have two YouTubers that are beefing with each other or going at it with each other. We've all seen it. It happens all the time.
I don't know what he's talking about. I ain't never had no beef with no YouTube producers on here.
Then we're gonna have this third party entity come in and just start pouring gasoline on top of the flames. And then their whole entire community is gonna come in and attack one person as well. And none of this stuff has anything to do with any of these people. So yes, I understand that, you know, if you put something on the internet, people are gonna react, but it's not really your place to hop in and just pour more fire on the fuel.
I've always said this. This is what makes the producer community sometimes an interesting one because it's good that we're able to get so many different perspectives from all over the world and people are able to offer different ways to look at things. This is how you grow. You listen to different perspectives, you let it go through your filtration system, you make a decision and you say, you know what? I think this is something I should definitely give some more thought to and possibly change in my ways. However, when you open up the internet to every single age group, every single culture that may have different culture nuances that other ones don't have, you get a bunch of people talking about shit they have no idea about. You get somebody, and this is no disrespect to somebody that work at a gas station, but I just like to use this example. You get somebody who all day long, they sit at the gas station like this, 1405, anything else. And the only excitement they have is when they find somebody that is glowing with energy and is happy and is smiling, and that is the only good thing they can do is go disrupt people's lives or find a way to be a disruption of somebody's lives. That's not everybody who has criticism. Some people have really great criticism and it needs to be said, right? But then there's some people who are just kids that like setting shit on fire. That's all they do. That's literally all they do. So they find, and I think it's really interesting too, why is it that with certain YouTube content creators, shout out to my homie Cal Beats, you know, I talk to him on many occasions, Simon Savita, I talk to him and I ask them questions like, do you ever get people in your audience questioning your IQ? You're like, no. It's chill, it's a vibe. When I give out information, and I always wondered how much of this is a culturally biased thing, but when I give out information, the first thing that these people attack is my IQ. And I have to ask, is it because I don't look a certain part? That's just one question I ask. Because you're not questioning the IQ of your favorite producer that looks like you.
Or if you're a follower of a third party who's doing this, it's not really your responsibility to come to this other YouTuber's channel and attack them. Like it happens all the time. There's a situation, and I'm not even saying that these two have beef with each other, but there's a situation, here's an example. Busy Work started doing, I guess, thumbnails that were similar to Navi, and he started to do similar topics, right? Okay, well that's YouTube. And so like all these people were making content and doing all this trash talking like, oh, well you're copying him or oh, you're copying him.
If you took this conversation to your grocery store, and the cashier, who you're familiar with, says, what's got you down today? Oh, I don't know, I'm just beefing with this YouTuber. He says that I copy his thumbnails, and how fucking nerdy do we look like when you zoom that out?
But Navi's thumbnails weren't the first person to do thumbnails like that. Maybe in the music producer community, but they got that thumbnail idea from somewhere else.
This is why I relate to rappers more than I do producers. There's some of you that are in here right now. I got so much love for you as a human being first and as a producer also. But I relate more to rappers because rappers don't give me nearly the amount of problems. They got their own problems, but they don't be caring about most of and that's part of what makes a producer great, is being so worried about the minute details within your mix and being able to figure out and tinker the numbers and experiment with things. But that's also what makes you anal about things that don't matter, especially when you're dealing with grown men with kids, families, responsibilities that are far bigger than your YouTube problems.
And then like the topics that he does, again, this is no shot at Navi. I rock with his content. I rock with Busy. I rock with all these dudes. He wasn't the first one making boom bap, you know what I'm saying, type beat tutorials. Type beat tutorials have been around for almost a decade now, for 6, 7, 8 years now. So anybody who's making any kind of type beat tutorials is just doing something that's already done. Anybody who's doing any kind of reviews is doing something that's already been done. Anybody that's doing any kind of cookups is doing something that's already been done. Anybody who's doing any kind of live stream is doing something that's already been done.
This is where I think that we got to address the idea that there is a producer community. I have this theory the producer community doesn't exist. And what community in life that you know of that doesn't have leadership, that anybody who has a 4K camera can step up, make videos consistently enough, even if the information is completely wrong, can build an audience and people will start to believe them basically because of the clarity of their videos and how loud they speak. Yet and still, that's the internet in general. But in this space, there is no board of directors. This is not a community. Because even when you think about a family dynamic, well, who's the fathers? Who's the forefathers of this? Who are the mothers of this space? That doesn't exist. We're all a bunch of folks who are just setting up shop and figuring out how to maximize what we currently have access to. But we think it's a community because we see some names repeat themselves in the comments. We all have our individual communities. I got my DIY community. DIY. But the illusion of a producer community, when there's so many different types of producer, what is it, a hip hop producer community? Is it just anybody who ever picks up a beat? Is it a beginner community? Is it an advanced community? There is no community.
So I just stressed all that because it's like all this stuff has been done already, but it's just about how you put your swing on it and how you put your voice or how you put your personality or how you put whatever into the content is why people are going to follow you or rock with the channel. So it's like he literally got blasted by multiple YouTube channels, multiple people for just doing what other people had already been doing.
Epic and I, another great producer in the space, legendary producer, had a podcast on this channel where we talked about if producers are afraid to show their face, you will be forgotten. You will not be able to sell beats. You won't get your placements that you're chasing, that you want so bad. If you don't show your face and do content, you will be forgotten about and your business will not grow. Producer said, okay, bet. How do I do this without having to do the hard work? Well, some producers said drama is the quickest way to be a part of the conversation. And when they did that, shit started going to hell. I can get a reaction from this person if I just say something about them that sounds truthful enough. If I do my SEO research, if I get as many views, they got to address it. So then it made content creators out of people who never wanted to do the work of content creation. I got 1,800 odd videos. I learned some things along the way. I know how to create content because I put the work in. Some of y'all, if it wasn't no drama to talk about, you wouldn't have content. Some of you only show up and you get on your little granny ass webcams. I don't know if you guys seen this shit, but like, they're really going at it, man. They're really going kind of crazy. Some of you only have videos that exist on your channel right now, you faceless channels that have other people's problems. And that's the only way that you've known to create content.
I'm not trying to rehash nobody's beef either because I'm not here for that.
Producer beef? I'm not criticizing my guy, something HTK. I just want us to really like sit with that for a second in silence. Nigga, producer beef? You operate with one-shots, kicks and snares, you nerd. I do too, but you nerd. What are we talking about? Beef? I'll beat your ass with my Elises. Shut your ass up. What are we talking about? Producer beef? I just want to give you a heads up. Every single December, I take a break from social media and I detox. These videos have already been planned out. They've already been edited and they're going to continue to be up here. Shout out to homie Nishan. He's going to be actually the one responding to you in the comments. I just got to get away. In order for me to give as much as I do to the human beings that I have so much appreciation for, aka the DIY. Your friend Curtis must recharge for a full month. And I've been looking forward to this. So I'm probably somewhere in my drawers in a VR headset, but I just want to say thank you for continuing to watch this channel. We haven't pivoted. We've just taken a break. I will see you back in January. Until then, back to the video.
Or if you look at like Dame Taylor Dame Taylor probably has 20 videos on his channel basically clout chasing BusyWorks beats. And so it's like you have all of these other YouTubers that instead of making creative content, and again, I'm not saying don't.
Like, I don't even want to say nothing because I don't want to create more content. Because it gets to the point where you end up giving people more content. I could do that reaction right now and go like this. There's going to be a video about, all right, let's get to this video about this nigga Curtis King. This nigga's funny, bro. Let's get to this video of him reacting right now to this, I don't even really know this nigga name, some HTK. Let's get to that. This nigga thinks he's me, you feel me? Like he's trying to mock me or whatever. No, I just want out of this shit.
I'm not saying not to do all that stuff, but instead of spending your energy tearing down other YouTubers who are basically doing the same thing that you're doing, why don't you put the energy and the effort into making original content?
How about this? Really crazy. I got something. I got an idea, ladies and gentlemen. This might be a little bit thought-provoking. It might be on the edge. It might be a little bit edgy. It might get me canceled. You know, music producers, why don't we start making music?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
And then the same thing for all the subscribers of these channels. So just because somebody makes a video about one YouTuber, there's no need for you to hop into this YouTuber's freaking comment section 150 deep and just go hard.
When I see people sending all of this energy to people, it's crazy because you can leave the most toxic as shit, log off, go back to your miserable ass life, and you leave your poison to people. People every day give me gifts. On social media, on YouTube, they give me gifts. You know what's inside of them? Shit. And I have to tell them all the time, hey, I don't think that's for me. I appreciate the gift that you're giving me in the form of this comment. It's not for me. You can keep that. It's not for me. Like, it's a gift because you're giving me your presence. Hello, you're giving me your attention, but I don't think that's for me. But then also something I gotta say to all my content creators or aspiring content creators in this producer space, one thing I'm gonna tell you as somebody who's done all these videos, and I was the guy, don't forget, I was the guy that did the most controversial FL Studio video, and I got laughed at. I got people clowning me for talking and snitching on myself about all of the pirating. I was just trying to warn the producers that we're gonna go through the same thing I went through. For that person, I'm gonna tell you on the other side of this, the price you must pay to sit on the other end of the results that you say that you want, the kind of commentary you want, the price you must pay is the hate. And you're gonna have to learn a whole lot about yourself in a process that you're not gonna like. They're gonna call you out on every single thing that you can think of. This is not just for the producer community, this is just for any community. The price you must pay to get to the next stage is you must develop the thick skin to deal with this. And if you don't, you're gonna get pushed down to the level that you were starting on.
There's gonna be people who are gonna say, well, you gotta have thick skin if you're gonna do content creation and this and that, but celebrities even tell you it's the one comment that gets to you. So if even celebrities who are at the top of the music game or at the top of the whatever game it is that they're doing are telling you it's the 1, 2, or 3 negative comments that get them, then why would you expect a YouTuber to be any different? And then when it's a whole bunch of people you know what I'm saying, attacking you, coming to your comment section, making posts about you, doing all a bunch of stuff, why do we always have to be quiet? Why are we always the ones that are in the wrong when we react?
Shout out to some HTK. I've met a lot of amazing people in this space, and I'm grateful to have met them, even if it didn't end on positive terms. I don't know what he's got going on. Doesn't matter. I'm not part of this community anymore. You can call me whatever you want to call me. Some people will call me a YouTube producer, even though I didn't start on YouTube. They'll call me the annoying loud guy. They'll call me whatever they want to call me. But the thing about it is you're not going to call me as a liar. And I told you, producer community, when I came here, my only goal was to help. And anywhere I go, I will still help. Hopefully, I still have your viewership. But if not, I completely understand it. I hope somebody serves you in a way that you deserve, because I cannot be that person. This place is so toxic, and there's people who genuinely get off on being as toxic as they can when they log in and then leaving that filth when they log out. I am not one that can do it. I've been trying to leave the producer space now for 4 years, but you got to think, for somebody, just being transparent, for somebody who has all these products, FL Studio Beginners course, Advanced FL Studio course, a part of me had to be attached to what's going on in the producer community, but I'm burning the boats and I'm taking over the island I'm going over next. This is not part of my future. You're going to always see me produce, but in terms terms of doing producer content, in terms of being the topic of conversation, I'm sure I still will be, but I'm gonna make it a lot less interesting because I'm just not going to respond like I haven't been responding. This shit is silly. This shit is childish. It's grown fucking men acting like children for shits and giggles from niggas that ain't buying shit from you. Kids that are hyper consuming your content but don't give a shit from you, or they're just buying bots. Right now, the pivot is specifically me focusing more on my music because I didn't come into YouTube to be a good YouTuber. I became a good YouTuber because I kept doing it, but I saw that because I had a skill for giving advice to my peers, because I had a lot of great ways to articulate my thoughts, people were interested in hearing about it, so I did it. I did it and it started to take off. With that in mind though, I must take my talents to South Beach. This is my decision. I'm leaving. You ain't got to worry about me. If you see my name mentioned, let them know he don't exist. Curtis King the rapper is in full mode now. Curtis King the rapper is all they got to know about. All this other shit is a terrible utilization of energy that could have been dedicated somewhere else. I'm going back to my music because that's what I actually love. I love my music as much as they love the drama. Call it a cop-out, call it weak, whatever you want to call it. My mom told me, you got two decisions in every situation. Do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? I'm choosing to be happy. As y'all see this content pop up, I'm sure it's gonna pop up after this, that's fine. Just know that I'm out of it, especially when December hits, I'm in hibernation. While they are making grown men love letters in the form of videos on YouTube towards me, I'm working on my music career. Because at the end of the day, had I never made music, none of you would care. And I wouldn't care. I didn't come in here as a content creator. I came in here as a musician, as an artist. And it's time to get back to that. So I thank you. For those of you that have been in here, I thank you so much because you're part of the reason I can make that pivot. I've been waiting for you. I don't know who makes up all 165 of you in here, but thank you. You gave me an out of this toxic ass fucking space that I've been wanting to leave for so long, but I still wanted to be able to make a living doing what I'm doing in the content space. This gave me another avenue to do it. I'm freed up. You got it, buckos. Those are my thoughts though, ladies and gentlemen. You let me know what you think about this ever so toxic producer community. DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Stop being greedy. Peace.